Hi. Aloha. Boundaries is one of those things that you can't do properly if you don't fully understand it. You have to mean it when it comes to boundaries. You cannot fake it, right? So today I want to talk about just one boundary that has completely changed my life. This one is so simple but so powerful, and let me tell you, it's in my understanding, it is the core essence of what a boundary is. When you practice this one, you will very quickly understand why there are boundaries, what a boundary is, how to do a boundary. Um, so yeah, it's very important. So first off, I want to just say that a boundary is basically, just a line, just a where something stops and where something begins. That's a boundary. A boundary can be so simple or so complex, but typically simple. Can be so simple as I I like scrunchies, for example, right? I like, say, a blue scrunchie. This is a blue scrunchie. So that can be my boundary, that I like a blue scrunchie. It is the way that you are, right? And then you might have Jason here next to me, and he'll say, well, I don't do scrunchies. So a boundary is what you are, right? In a nutshell, if you like orange juice, that's your boundary. And if someone else prefers rather to drink coffee instead of orange juice, say in the morning or whatever, that's their boundary. With boundaries, it's a very complex, beautiful topic, but the number one boundary that I have, the one boundary, not number one, but I feel like it's a number one boundary because it's that profound. When you understand this one, it's gonna be easier for you to do other boundaries. So a main boundary that is super amazing, that has changed my life, is basically deciding what I'm available to and what I'm not available to. Or, in other words, deciding what I will accept and what I will not accept. It's that simple. When you understand that you are going to decide what you're not going to be available to, you can only operate this with the understanding that you have free will, you have power, you have every right to decide that you're going to change your circumstances, right? That's not going to slide with you. That's not going to be a part of you. It may happen, but you're not going to allow it, right? There's a lot of things in life that happen to us, whether, we allow it, we want it or not, they happen, right? But you can decide whether this continues to happen to you or no. That's the boundary. I will not be available to this type of thing, or I will be available only to these type of things. That's a boundary. It's so beautiful, and this is what I practice all the time. Let me give you an example. So with this boundary, when you decide that you are not available to something, it can be as simple as, for example, gossiping, right? Let's say you're someone who does not want to gossip. Part of becoming the best version of yourself is also not gossiping. Also, not speaking bad about other people, engaging in like negativity, spewing hate, and all those things, right? So let's use the example of gossiping. So let's say you don't want to gossip, you do not want to engage in gossip, and in this room there are other women, they're gossiping as well. I mean, there's a group of women gossiping, and you might not want to communicate that. You might not want to say, hey, I don't like gossiping, I do not gossip, etc. And in fact, I encourage people to learn how to handle situations where you don't even have to speak. Because a lot of the time, speaking causes conflict. It, yeah, it causes more conflict. And one thing I've learned about boundaries is I've learned to not be having to say something every time. I used to think that boundaries is saying, oh, I would appreciate it if you don't do this, I don't do this. And that, like, please don't do this around me, or don't do this to me, or this time, blah, blah, blah. It's true. You're very correct. You have to, that's part of boundaries, right? But I feel like a lot of the times a boundary is supposed to be expressed from just your how you carry yourself. Your countenance should speak for you, that you do not tolerate this, or you do not want to engage in this particular thing. You don't want to be available to that, right? You show people who you are, right? And it's more powerful in that way. So you can decide, what is it, instead of speaking to someone, you can show them, and when you feel like they're not getting it, that's when you can have a conversation and address things. I've come to find this more helpful, and it'll save you so much, and people will take your boundaries more seriously. So for example, in a situation where girls are gossiping, you don't want to be a part of that. You can decide in yourself that, this is against my values, my core beliefs. It feels icky, yucky, being around that. You don't like gossiping. You can decide within you that I will not be available to this conversation, to what's happening right now. And when you decide that, you can then take your energy away from that situation and place it elsewhere, right? Then you can place your energy on something that is better. The Bible says, that scripture, I love it. Think of things that are pure, lovely, true, etc. Something like that. I just don't remember it, but it's one of my favorite scriptures. You can decide then, okay, I'm taking my mind off of this thing. But when you decide that you're not available to this, you need to be available to something else. Distract yourself with things that are good, that are pure, that are right. It's like emptying yourself out. Now fill yourself up with good things. In that situation, you can decide that even in your body language, I love this, guys. I love to be in tune with my feelings, my intuition, and how I feel. I like to let people feel that in my energy. If that's a boundary, your energy will assert a boundary for you. Like your countenance, what people feel off of you, will communicate to people. With your energy, you can just take your energy away from the gossip. If the gossip is happening in this direction, put your energy somewhere else. You will see that your body, even your body language, you don't feel like being around that. You shift yourself, right? Practice doing that. You shift yourself, your body, you're not, but you want to be polite still. Yes, they're being rude by gossiping, but the thing is, it's not about being haughty and cheeky and like, ugh, I don't gossip, and like, ugh, that is still a very disgusting attitude. Haughtiness is not, it's gross. That's not what I'm talking about. It's this thing of respecting yourself, that you even respect these people, that you, sometimes people don't know better. A lot of people would, like when I was younger, I used to gossip. I didn't know it was wrong, and then I experienced how much it can hurt people. It can break things. It causes drama, spews hate, and so much toxicity. And a lot of people don't intend to do it. They don't know that it's wrong, but a lot of the times they will learn that it's wrong also from your energy that you are giving them. So you can decide to be quiet. If you're uncomfortable in your body and it's awkward, show that. I'm a huge fan of doing that. I'm going to preach a lot on in this community about show people with your feelings, with your with your energy, how you feel. If it's awkward for you, then you can be like, you can do something like that. I hope what I expressed there was giving enough of the picture that I was trying to make. But you can express that to someone, that, and if they won't listen, like if they won't read your body language, you can just be quiet, disengage. And you can disengage by just like showing you're not there. Don't respond. Don't even say, oh yeah, don't do that. Just be like, awkward. And awkwardness and these things are cues to communicate something. Use them as tools. And one favorite of mine, if you want to be petty, I can be very petty. You can simply just be like, as someone saying something, gossiping maybe directly to you, you can change the topic and be like, oh, the weather's really nice today. You can do that, and you're indirectly communicating that you don't want to be available to this situation anymore. Or you can leave, right? But I encourage one to deal with things. If you couldn't leave and you couldn't really speak, show it in your body language, show it in your energy. Take your energy away from that and just avoid the person. I'm sorry, but I'm someone who I avoid negativity and like drama, toxicity. And if you're someone who carries that, right? Because I do believe that everyone, in a sense, they have a potential to be toxic and negative. It's all about their behaviors. I don't say that people are necessarily toxic, but people can do toxic behavior that makes them toxic, right? So I have potential to be toxic, by my behaviors. It's the way that you act, it's these things that you are doing. You may be a nice person, a good person, but you're gossiping, you're walking in toxic behavior. So I'm not going to avail myself to that toxicity because it's going to affect me. I'm going to be over here, this side, away from the toxicity. So yeah, like, decide you're just not going to be a part of that. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that it was very informative. I hope it was deep enough, thoroughly explained enough. I'm that person. I love things to be explained very thoroughly with examples and with practical with practical tools, and I hope that was what you got here. So until next time, thank you so much for stopping by, sending lots of love, and till next time, bye.